Welcome to Martial Arts Today, a program dedicated to the ancient fighting arts of the Orient, designed to give you insights into the history, philosophy, styles, and celebrities of the martial arts. And now, your host, Joe Rebelo.
Hi, this is Joe Rebelo for Martial Arts Today Television, and we're here at Revere Karate Academy in Revere, Massachusetts, where we've just done a series of seminars with our guest today, Mr. Richard Planas, 9th degree black belt in Ed Parker's American Kenpo, and considered by many the Encyclopedia of Kenpo, one of the premier Kenpo Seniors. And we've just went through an incredible experience, and now we're here to talk a little bit about your career, sir. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Good to see you again, Joe.
It's been a while since we've last spoke, at least in relationship to our television program. And what have you been up to lately? What have you been up to in relationship to Kenpo?
Just doing my thing, traveling all around the country and parts of the world, teaching the system. That's about it. I do that all but almost every weekend. I'm probably home, 2 or 3 to 4 days a week. The rest of the time I'm on the road. I'll book out 6 or 7 weekends a year to do things I want to do. The rest of the time I'm on the road teaching.
Wow, that must be an incredibly hectic schedule. How do you keep up with all the different seminars and everything?
Well, I like it. My mother, I used to say, like, I'm part gypsy. I like traveling and seeing new people and working with new people. It keeps me from getting stale. I can recover the same thing, like you said, in a school, and you teach what we call little Johnny how to make a fish. You're teaching the kids, the same faces over and over, the same thing every day. It's boring, but I can teach the same thing to a different group in a seminar where if it's different people, it's a whole big different story, and it doesn't affect you the same way.
Now, again, we talked about your schedule. I mean, just to give you an idea for our audience, you did 2 seminars here today in Revere. Now, tomorrow you're off to...
somewhere in New Hampshire.
Up in...
I don't really remember the name of the town, but New Hampshire, Nashua, or in the Manchester area, somewhere up there like that.
Then after New Hampshire, your next event, you're going, I believe...
That's Kentucky, the birthday bash. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the birthday bash. Again, now you and Gil Hibben, a famous knife maker and American Kenpoist, your birthdays are around the same time, and they're having a big bash?
Yeah, I met Gil about 30 years ago at the Internationals in Long Beach, and we became good friends and basically like brothers since then. And his birthday is on the 4th of September, and mine's on the 12th, and for years now, I don't remember how many, we've been getting together and celebrating our birthdays, and he had always had a karate club there, and I'd come in and do a little seminar for the guys. Well, people started hearing about it, and more people say, can I come, can I come, can I come? And so it turned into a camp. And so it's been that way for a good while now. I don't remember how many years, but we have the seminars on Friday and Saturday, and then we go out to the house and have a big cookout, catering, swim, throw tomahawks, knives, crack whips, just a big outdoor bash, for the birthday celebration.
Now, you brought up an interesting point, and probably a point that many of you, even in the martial arts and Kenpo community, aren't aware of. Now, you had let me make sure I get this right. You had apprenticed under Gil Hibben as a knife maker, and you've created in the past your own series of knives. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, one of them was just placed on sale on eBay,
right.
And they're beautiful pieces of work.
Yeah, that knife that was on eBay is one I made for Ed Parker and gave to him for part of his collection. Yeah. And one of my students wound up with the knife in California, which was good,
Now,
I'll talk him out of it.
Well, how did you begin doing that? I mean, especially with knife making. How did all that come about?
Well, I guess it's my Filipino blood, as you know. They call the Filipinos the people of the knife, and I've always liked knives. I can't remember when I didn't have knives or liked knives. And so I was interested in knives. When I was in college, I picked up a Field and Stream or an outdoor magazine, Outdoor Life or something, that had Gil Hibben's ad in there. And it had a picture of a Bowie knife, which was the classic Bowie knife, and I said, oh, this is neat, so I ordered his catalog, and, daydreamed about, getting one, but it was expensive, but not now. I mean, then it wasn't, the price was incredibly cheap compared to what they are now, and so then when I, was with Parker in Pasadena, and the internationals was coming about, he said something about Gil Hibben, and I went, Gil Hibben? I said, the knife maker? And he says, yeah, he's one of our black belts. And I says, oh, I want to meet him. So the old man says, you know, Mr. Parks, I'll make sure you do. So that night I met him, and the rest is history. And then we became like brothers ever since, you know. So I moved in with him, and later on to Alaska, and started making knives. And, you know, came back, bought all my own equipment, started making knives, and did it as a business for a while, you know.
Well, you have some excellent quality workmanship, and again, if all goes well, we'll be showing you some photos from that particular blade. And one interesting anecdote that I was at the New York camp, and someone was talking about how I believe Daryl Hibben, Gil's brother, had contacted you about the hollow ground of Chris.
Well, that was at a knife show in New Orleans. The Knife Makers Guild show for the last 2 years has been in New Orleans, and I ran into him there, and he was just asking me questions about how to grind a Chris because he hasn't made one. So, you know, I've made quite a few of them. You know, it's something you got to play with and to learn how to do. You know.
Excellent. Now, of course, besides your many seminars, again, because myself, I'm always on the internet, you have your own web page through Mike Cappy's www.americankarate.com. And
right, that's the main page, right? And then there's a list of names. You click on my name, and it'll go to my site.
And again, it has a complete month-by-month listing of Mr. Planas' seminars and where he'll be. So make a point of checking that out and see where he is, and whether or not you're even in Kempo. If you're interested in finding out more about what Kempo is all about, this is the man to see. Again, you'll have an incredible time. You're going to see a little bit of footage from one of the seminars and really get a taste of the way Mr. Planas teaches. And if you're an American Kempoist, it's going to be a real eye-opener. And even if you're not an American Kempo, you're still going to get a lot out of seeing the different aspects of American Kempo. Now, the next question is, what does the future hold for you? What are your plans in the future?
Well, I think I'll go to Disneyland. Yeah, I just keep, doing my thing. I go home, the phone rings, and people say, "Can you come do a seminar?" I do it. I go all around the world, like I say. I go Canada, South America, Central America, Europe, and any place else anybody wants to do it. They control it, not me. I tried to quit karate, many years ago, and the students wouldn't let me quit. That's when I moved to Alaska with Gil Hibben. I just didn't want to do it anymore, but the students kept calling, and wouldn't let me quit.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm very grateful for those students, and American Kempo is as well. And again, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, Joe.
And we'll be back with some exciting action with Huck Planas here on Martial Arts Today. Stay tuned for some exciting action.
Kenpo is a checking system. Always talking about check. Check, 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 check. That's why even in Form 6, which is the weapons form, we don't take the weapon away, general move. We let him keep the weapon, so every time you move, you have to check it. That's what you get, check it, check it, check it. So be aware of that. Okay. But the simple, if you apply the weapons rules, control, disarm, then worry about your technique. You're going to be much better off. Remember, the longer a person has a weapon in his hand, the more chance you've got to be hurt with it. And we're talking about a knife here, okay? 3 weapons, a gun knife and a club instead of a gun. Anybody can use a gun, doesn't take any training, and you can't block a bullet, as Parks would say. So we didn't do really a lot with the gun. We said, we got to put a gun on you, and you're saying there's nothing you can do. If somebody tells you to show you how to disarm a guy from 6 feet away with a gun, they say, "I volunteer, do it to me. Do it to me, please." It ain't going to happen. But a knife is far more dangerous than a stick. You can take a hit with a stick, but you can't take with a knife. That's why you take techniques like clipping the lance to clipping the stone. Where's that stick at? You've got your stick back here like this. He's doing the poke of clipping the stone, slow motion. Center line. Understand? No big deal. I'm setting up an angle of deflection. It's going to hit me. It might hit me, yes, but it's going to slip off. But you can't afford that with a knife. You understand? So it's the same technique. So the danger of the club says, yeah, I can move up in that position. It's not going to hurt me if you deflect. The same move with the knife, you go back in the corner and get away from that. Because of the danger involved. That's why clipping the lance and clipping the storm is the same technique. Clipping the lance has a few more techniques because you step back farther and you have to make up that ground. That gives you the time to put in the extra strikes. Understand? You know, go with me on this. I'm going to talk about.
You're going to change the technique.
Thrusting lance.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Hip check, hip check.
Okay. He's nice picking the knife. So, all we're doing is saying, okay, let's get this in. Now, let's keep it checked. Keep it checked. Keep it checked. And keep it checked. See? This is what we're doing, making you check conscious. But you're not really doing anything to get control of the weapon or get rid of it or whatever. So, in reality, you want to think more of those lines of control disarm technique. So if he's coming with a knife like that, okay, I'm moving off, I'm catching this in here, so I catch here, disarm, and then work into my takedown to control, right? Short and sweet stuff like this. This is what's going to be better off for it. Slow motion. Again, get off outside. I can't just move or kick the wrist. Roll to my control the elbow. Roll this in. Here's what it is. Disarm. And then roll in with a fresh lock. And this is short and sweet stuff. And it gets rid of the weapon in a hurry. Understand it? So this is study weapons, study weapons. If you think, really think about what you're doing. Just like another example, straight technique is yellow belt. What's the yellow belt technique?
Checking the storm.
Checking the storm. What's it for?
Overhead club that misses.
Overhead club that misses, then what?
Zoom or horizontal.
Swing.
Zoom or horizontal.
Horizontal.
Changes his line again.
Okay, who knows the technique? What's he do in the air? Work on a midget. Down there. On me. Ready? Yeah. I move slow. Yeah.
I didn't hit you. So you got the second strike on?
Yeah. Where were you thinking it was coming?
Up high. Oh, okay.
I didn't read the book. I didn't read the book. I didn't know I was supposed to swing back at his head. I swung and broke his kneecap. You're sitting waiting for that high shot. So this the weapons rule here. The weapons rule is you never give an opponent a second shot at you if you can help it, unless you're a mind reader. And you know where he's going to put the second shot. Understand? So you should have got it here, not giving time to reload and take your leg off or your head, or have to wonder where it's going. Once he's committed to a move, you want to kill it right then and there. Understand? So that's a weapons rule, is never give a person a second shot if you can help it, because he didn't read the book. Remember that he doesn't know where it's supposed to go. Was you want to talk about doing that?
Check. On the check.
What got me on this? What got me on this?
We were doing raining lance. We were talking about checking.
Thrusting, clipping
Oh,
this
yeah.
arm.
Then you were showing the disarms really,
Yeah.
and we asked you about thrusting lance, but that's
There's some things to be thinking about. Okay, let's go on to the next one. What's the next one?
thrusting lance.
Thrusting lance, okay? Thrusting lance, as written, you have to apply the rules what you know. Who knows thrusting lance? She's going to work on midget again. Okay, first move. Okay, next move. Okay, next move. Okay, all right. What's it against?
Go knife thrust.
Front right, step through, thrusting club, thrusting knife.
Don't cut your bad, Jack. Don't cut your bad.
Yeah, I told him.
A lot of people don't think of this. You know, I see this all the time. You know, I'm doing 3, doing 2 hand slow motion. That's right. You know, You're not thinking this guy's not going to come over and give you a headbutt. It's another thing. You know? Same thing, flailing. Same thing. Same thing. You don't realize that guy's going to come over like a rocket and bust your nose. So you got to cover those headshot lines or headbutt lines. So 2 hands. When you come in here, you go this way, and you know he's going to bend over. And he's going to bust his nose on your head. And the same thing. You come in here, you go bang, and you have him bust his nose on your head. And when he does, then you unbalance and go at it. You're looking at him. You know, you're going to get your teeth taken out or your nose busted, whatever. So you got to watch that line. This is good. Oh, I forgot. I'm not supposed to use my other hand. Moving inside a weapon. This is the danger, but I got 2 hands and 2 feet just like he does. I'm not going to go this way. That's why in weapons, most of the time you move outside. Most of the time you move outside. But anyway, inside, if I draw here, what's going on? You cut. You won't stay in line, you're going off angle. See, like in the form, if you know the form doesn't use the right angle. A lot of things got written out of the form transition. But you know in the form that you're coming from, if you know 6, you're coming from 10:30 line, you drop back to 12 and you go into 12 o'clock and you drop back to 12. But when you learn the technique, you shift to the corner and then you shuffle in to stay zone. So if he's coming from 12, I shift to 4:30. Okay, to set that right alignment. So if I'm facing 12, where's the guy coming from for real? So you have to be at 1:30. So there's an example of how you learn it in the form. There's not how the technique is done. There's quite a few things that got written down in the manuals. It was taken and written from the form transition and not the application transition. The form stays on the roadmap, puts the intersection and everything comes from there. So a lot of it's written that way for that reason. For the form, transition, the form is for the pattern and not the application model. So if you're working from 12, you shift, you know, you're still inside. This is how you're working it. So, already stance. Don't move your front foot. All you're doing is you're playing reversing mace. You go that way, so the guy comes in, get outside, right? And now I much have tighter draw. Right, then you want to move from there. Okay? So let's do this. Watch me once. Set. You change to 4:30 with your strike. And then shuffle in, tuck your head, get your headbutt in, and just keep the check, and again you're in the universal position with your groin shot. Okay, we'll do that. Hang on a second, guys. Hang on a second. 7 things you do with technique. Add, alter, insert, prefix, suffix, rearrange, and delete. Okay, all you generally have to do is all here from the insert and add. What's the difference? Add an insert, saying the same thing. Add is insert. A lot of things are words are synonyms for others. I tell people, back in the 60s, when we put the system together, we used to hand out a sheet of paper, type, double space, a half a sheet of paper, it's only half full, with every term you fully need to know and teach and understand. That's it. So it's not a whole stuff. Now there's 10,000 synonyms for backup mass, American gravity, angle incident, and all this. But it's all boils down to the same thing. You look at one that says see this. You look at it and it says see this. Because it's going back and forth. They're saying the same thing. Got me on that.
7 things you can do to a technique.
Huh?
7 things you can do to a technique.
Oh yeah, good. So, we have a saying, Mr. Parker's saying, that you do as many things at once as you can in Kempo, as long as you don't get a detraction. You do so many things that one starts to take away from something else, then you pick it out. You don't want any detraction. Like Mr. Parker's having to use this hand, and this foot. So I use this foot too, but I got to stand on it. lot of triples, sometimes there's a 4, but it's rare. The 3s happen a lot. It's the most you can do. So when you're doing the technique, we're going to compound your inserts. Okay, so as written, we move off, and we shuffle in with your heel pocket. So this is far, you gotta be close. You gotta be close to the sin, you gotta be lean. So now, to prevent the headbutt, when you move in, you headbutt him. You headbutt him before he headbutts you. Okay, first insert. You've got to be close enough to use your rear hand. So, use your front elbow. Okay. You get the elbow, the headbutt, and the grunt shot. Get all 3 zones at once, the high, middle, and low at one time. That's the most you can do without causing any detraction. I want you to think that way. Guys, okay, you're going to go in the headbutt, the elbow, and the groin shot. Okay, put that together. Headbutt, elbow, and heel.
Headbutt, elbow, heel.
Move that hand. You change the position of that hand. Here. He comes in, I'm outside, and I move inside. Now the knife's back there, so my hands went into him. Now I got to get them back out where they came from to make the grab. So that's retracing ground. That's going back where I started from. If the elbow moves, he says, "Oh look, now he moved and put the hand right over the retrace ground." It's the same as attacking base. You don't want to catch when he comes in with a punch. You know this. I'm going to punch, but I'm going to grab his wrist. But I don't have to come back to grab his wrist. When I move, he's going to be moving back. And I say, now, see, because I moved him, I didn't have to retrace ground. Then I get my pull. So once your wrist lock position, work the technique. When you move in, you put all this stuff in, and you're going to go to the wrist lock position. Thumbs in the back of the hand, fingers in the palm. Okay? Try to get to that position. In the dummy, you do both ways. Hold your ground once, move a little. And technician is going to have to stay with you. Creating your opening. It's just like this principle relates to gathering clouds, which was the next technique I was going to go into the first group on the family grouping, to show you the principle, how it works. We did show this. Fighting. And I said, he's got his hand down, and I'm trying to punch him in the ribs, but he keeps that elbow down. So I shoot to the head to make him raise, and then it opens to line everything up. Now, the Crane family, when we're doing gathering clouds, we're off to the side and say, you know, I'm on the side, I can get back here, or I can get here. Well, he's going to hold where it hurts. I really want to hit the front, so I get back here, and make him move that elbow back like that, and thanks, open this line up. Understand? This is the principle. This says you're going to bring that elbow back and open this line. That's on vertical what we're doing now. So we have this guy stretched out. And really, I want to kick his head. This hand, maybe got that line closed a little bit. So, chicken kick here, we kick the ribs first. And I'm just going to move this elbow down and open the line of the head of the rib at once. So he moves out of your way. Understand? So that's why we kick here and then here. It's the same as with the exact same move in charging ram. You know, charging ram, slow motion, Mike's doing charging ram on me. Here, I come in like this, and he says, you know, what he wants to do is kick me in the head. And my arms are out, so he boosts me in the ribs to make me move my hand out of the way so he can kick the head. Okay? My arms are out here, got my head closed, so he boosts me in the ribs to make me hold where it hurts. That opens my head to give you the head shot. That's how it's laid out. This is the same thing, so you come into your kicks, ribs, head. So we haven't taken the weapon, we still got the knife. lots of variations in this. So taking the knife away was a good idea, you know. But as written, you don't take the knife. You hope you lost the knife somewhere in there, but just keep the wrist locked, put your chicken kick, and land with your vertical back knuckle, inward, downward, diagonal hammer fist, and outward, downward, diagonal hammer fist. You cut your straight line, and then your X. Straight line, and then your X. So how that works. Yeah. Now, the bottom of his, this is a high point, and his head is a high point. This is a valley. This is a valley. So we went up and down and said, now I'm going to complement the angle of the head and slide into that valley. And that becomes a stop, just like this does. And then I come out of there and say, now let me complement the angle of the shoulders and slide into that valley. And become a stop. So this is what we're doing. We're working the complementary angle of the skull and the complementary angle of the shoulders into the valley. So that's why it's vertical, vertical, and then you cut the X. And you come out into that stop. Got it? So head this. Vertical, vertical, diagonal, diagonal. Okay? So now here is the straight line and then the X. Everything's got a reverse. How you do hook and wings? The X, and then the straight line. Same thing. Reverse.
No, because I was talking and I wasn't braced.
That sets that up.